no longer, or as that which is being theorized and yet to be practiced. The simple question is, if we claim that Nigeria is united, why then are there agitations to reconsider the basis of our existence as a nation? Whether we like it or not, Nigerian unity lies at the heart of Nigerian politics. But it being at the heart of Nigerian politics is politicized. How has the current development in Nigerian politics helped improve the shaky unity? How have the Nigerian leaders, both past and present, been able to address the problem of Nigerian unity? How do scholars and Nigerian citizens respond to the problem of Nigerian unity? Today, on this edition of Destiny Discovery Platform, Reverend Father Professor Bonachristus Umeogu, Director, Igbo Village and Center of African Civilization, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, and a Professor of Metaphysics and Logic, shall today educate us on the politics of Nigerian unity. I am your uncle, Samuel Uso. You're welcome. You're welcome, Father.
Thank you very much.
Let's go straight to our discussion for today.
Okay.
So, what is your vision of Nigerian unity?
That's a very important question. Nigerian unity is a divided unity. Of course, we should not be afraid of divided unity. Even in God, there is what we call indivisible unitas, undivided unity. So I think by the authority of the grace of God, I will ask Nigerians to pray to God to give us the sufficient grace of undivided unity. Because what we have today is divided unity. To be precise and to be sure, Nigerians look for unity in the past. And I've made it very clear that when the past becomes the present, we must lose the future. And there is no future in the past. So I have to make it very clear that in Nigeria, because there is not a true Nigerian culture, the issue of the problem of national identity, Nigerian identity, is something that will always be in the limbo. It is like chasing the goose. We want to identify now what it is we can call Nigerian culture or Nigerian identity. Because culture is always a function of identity, and also identity is always a function of culture. Because no one is an island in terms of itself. We're always part of the continent, a part of the man. So this idea of not having a true Nigerian culture, it is something that worries me a lot. And I have propounded the theories of cultural hermeneutics that can help not just Nigerians, but also other nations within Nigeria. Because again, when you talk about Nigeria, Nigeria cannot be called a nation, even though it is a country.
It's very strong.
And you may not really address some of these ethnic groups in Nigeria, like the outside the Igbo, the major ones and the minor ones. None of the, you see, they are what you may call nations and not necessarily tribes. Because you see, in any social grouping, when there is a kind of organized unity in reference to origin, history, culture, language, and all that, you see, you are already talking about a nation.
Let me come in here.
And not just a tribe. Let me just finish off because there's a place I'm moving to this analysis. So when you are looking at something like the Igbo people, for instance, I have made it clear. The Igbo people cannot really be called, that's in a state of sensu, Nigerian people. Also, the same with the Hausa people and the Yoruba people. Why you may say, why can I draw that kind of conclusion? Well, it's a logical conclusion, not necessarily a scientific one. It's a logical conclusion. Now, what I want to say must come back to this: that the Igbo culture cannot be called Nigerian culture. It's impossible.
And this needs a quick intervention.
Let me just end up because let me not miss the strand of analysis. Now, the Hausa culture cannot be called Nigerian culture. And whoever wants to make the Hausa culture Nigerian culture cannot succeed. Whoever wants to make the Igbo culture Nigerian culture cannot succeed. So the Yoruba culture and things like that. So you see that Nigerian culture is elusive. Now, an author and also a politician in Nigeria who is late said no one can be a true patriot of Nigeria or citizen without being first and foremost a true patriot of his own tribe. He didn't even use nation, he used tribe. They called him the father of Nigerian tribalism. But my major idea, you see, I don't want just to raise up an analytical question without offering a solution. My solution is always clear. And I give my solution along the lines of cultural hermeneutics. Now, let the president of Nigeria and his company establish and institute what we can call a ministry. Well, not ministry in terms of prayer ministry, but see, they are all ministers. You know, in the church we are ministers. They are also ministers. So you introduce a ministry of intercultural hermeneutics as a ministry. Because like in my theory of cultural hermeneutics, I talk about intracultural hermeneutics, extracultural hermeneutics, intercultural hermeneutics again, as a principle, not as a theory now, contracultural hermeneutics, supracultural hermeneutics, and integral cultural hermeneutics. I will still go into some of these principles. So when we are able to allow these cultures, like the Igbo culture, the Hausa culture, and all of them, when we're able to mediate a culture through them by some of these principles in such a way that we get the culture along the lines of what unites us.
That's meeting a kind of common ground.
A consensus ad idem. A consensus communi.
Yeah.
See, let me tell you, there is this problem. You can never have unity without diversity. It's impossible.
No, there is something.
It's impossible.
There is something.
So it is the way you manage the unity and diversity.
Yeah, there is something that has always appeared obscure all this while, especially when we come to the problem of uniting cultures together.
Good.
We have not been able, and this is a very serious problem, we've not been able to identify the center of unity. Where is the center? On what grounds do we bring?
Things are falling apart. The center cannot hold, and mere anarchy.
Yeah. So how it's we been talking about culture all this while. A lot of scholars, a lot of thinkers, a lot of politicians, and the rest of them talk about culture. But I would want you, Prof, to strike a kind of a point where we can hold and have as a kind of center that will bring cultures together, and then we'll now start talking about some kind of unity even in the face of diversities and the rest of them.
I will not agree with you that the politicians talk about unless political culture.
Okay, political culture.
I think you made
it. Exactly.
They politicize our culture. And again, the church does not also talk about culture.
Yes.
Which is a problem. Of course, in terms of the issue of cultural hermeneutics, you see that they cannot talk about that because faith will always come in, and already reason must be dominated.
Well, loosely, can we talk about culture of reason? And maybe you think about that.
That is okay. There is something very important that we need to streamline. We are talking about the center. I think without this Minister of Cultural Hermeneutics, there cannot be in the center. Because you are talking about having something like Nigerian culture.
Yes.
A culture that will truly belong to us as Nigerians. Yes. There is no such culture. So that's why I made a logical statement that of course it came again from the so-called father of Nigerian tribalism, that for you to be a true citizen of Nigeria, you must first of all be a true citizen of your own tribe. Let me not use the word nation. So you find out that where then can we place that entity called Nigeria? I will go back to what I said. There cannot be any unity without diversity. So if anybody wants to find a unity without diversity, I'm sorry, you cannot have it. Even in God, see, there is what you may call the seeming diversity, but you see, we now from that diversity came to what you call indivisible unitas, undivided unity. See, it is still it's a unity that is undivided. You see, what I want to go straight away to say concerning the center you're talking about. Most of the ethnic groups that make up Nigeria did not at any point in time come together to agree that they will belong to Nigeria. So the culture that brought them together is a forced culture. See, they were forced to become a country, but Nigeria cannot be called a nation. I mean, well, you can say multi-ethnic nations. Let me come.
This question will help you.
It's okay.
Will help you.
It's okay. Let me see.
Now, what stand? You are a philosopher. Yeah. You are a professor of philosophy, and I would want you, in the light of what you're saying now, to propose a kind of political education that will help. Not just a kind, but a standard political education that will help this idea of unity in the face of diversity.
I've already provided that. What I call cultural hermeneutics.
So it's also a political.
It's what you see. I said the theory is the theory of cultural hermeneutics. Now there are principles within that of intracultural hermeneutics, that of extracultural hermeneutics, that of contracultural. Because that the culture must first of all be homogeneous in itself.
Please, can you just take one and now let's just look at the intracultural.
Good.
How does it help the unity of
within the Igbo culture. See, that's a problem again. I was able to come to that. The issue of Igbo cultural identity is a problem. Igbo unity. That's why you can never. It will be impossible to find the unity among the Igbo people. But let us just say seemingly that there is what we might call Igbo culture. But I tell you, analytically, it is nowhere. Now, what you call intercultural Igbo unity, you are talking about a culture that homogenously belongs to the Igbo people, that in terms of its extra interpretation and the relations may not really be called Hausa culture or Yoruba culture, Ibibio culture, and things like that. Now you find out that anytime you are talking about that homogeneous culture, the intercultural principle will now try to go into that culture and into the other cultures and find out where these cultures can come together. But you see, these things have to do with freedom, consciousness, sanctified by freedom, not consciousness sanctified by mental slavery. See, I want to make this point very clear, that the culture that brought these cultures together is a culture of slavery. It's a culture of oppression. It's a programmed culture. Programmed. You see? So that Nigeria cannot be called a natural country. It's an artificial country with artificial intelligence, with a programmed destiny. So it's a problem. And we should all be worried about that.
Nigerians are playing someone's script.
We should, of course, we should go back to the colonial days, but not just colonial, neo-colonial, because they are still with us today in ideas. But we're still being enslaved in our ideas today. Think about even Africa as a continent. How can we allow the Europeans and Americans to design everything for us? To design literally everything for us. From the issue of religion to the issue of even food and drinks. Food and drinks. You see, I think what remains for them is to enter into our body and to nourish themselves with what we are taking in. See, it's terrible. How can they design everything for us? Everything. That somebody was asking whether the Africans, whether they have gifts at all. You see that we are on the receiving side. That's why I said, no matter we're talking about all this oil producing economy and whatever, let me tell you, some of these African countries, including Nigeria, cannot be called producer economy. These are consumer economies. See, that's why in Nigeria, all the producers do is to look for the cake, to scramble for just what is there.
And they have not stopped scrambling.
No. Of course, the one day they have finished everything. They have finished everything. And you see, because nothing else is being done with what already we have, because I think if we have visionary leaders, that's the problem again. We need servant leaders and visionary leaders. So if we have such leaders, they will know what to do with this oil and multiply that into other economic points that can help again to multiply financial gains. But you see, as it was in the beginning, this now never shall be. So one day they will finish it and they will finish ourselves. So it's a problem.
Yeah. Viewers, if you are watching us, we are on the politics of Nigerian unity. And here with us at the Destiny Discovery platform is Reverend Father Professor Bonachristus Umeogu. Father,
Yeah.
you are the director of Igbo Village and the Center of African Civilization in Nnamdi Azikiwe University. And in the face of the politics of Nigerian unity, don't you think that the clamor for Igbo unity or Igbo identity endangers Nigerian unity?
You can see again that the reverse is also the case. And not just Igbo unity, also Hausa unity, also Yoruba unity.
Yes.
If you go to the minor something, then you see the problem is already there. I think the most important thing to tell our people is this. First of all, I think the unity we are seeking is already there. But we think that unity is not there. So that if we must recover the unity again, you see that it is the original unity. But let us be bold to come together. There is a problem in the political foundation of Nigeria that ethnic groups with their different cultures came together. I wouldn't say just that they came, what happened was that they did not really decide
It's not natural
to belong along the lines of natural political conditions that we are going to form a country or form one people called Nigeria. So, if you cite the memory lane, even what you may call the memory or the history without memory, let us leave the history with the memory. Let us search the history without memory, or the history with and without memory. If you look at them, you see that we can never, as a people, remember when we came together to decide to come together. After all, unity is the quality of the state of oneness, of integrality, of integration, of union without division. And that's why when people want to form political units, they need to come together and look at who they are, look at their destinies, and see where they can pair. Even in programmed intelligence, even in programmed intelligence, you can have codes or things that can pair together. And mostly you normally pair in what unites you. I'm not trying to say that diversity is something evil. It is helping us when the country. That's why I said you can never get unity without diversity. It's impossible. Where can you get it? As philosophers, we know that. But we are not happy when people politicize unity. Because then they are not using that unity as a kind of a mechanism to achieve evil purposes. So that's the area that make the two points. That there is what you call artificial conditioned programming. It's artificial. It's not natural. So Nigeria cannot be called a natural country. It's an artificial country.
Oh,
and I've said that concerning artificiality, both in intelligence and everything, you can always have programming that can be negative or positive. So there was a time when countries were forced, were programmed to come together, no matter. And then, in staying together, they found that there are of unity and divisions. And instead of solving those problems along the line that will help us to become one people, people are now using that problem of diversity to divide the country more, so as to steal, so as to grab everything. Sometimes somewhere we finish, the problem will come out again. Triumph. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So the point is that, given that artificial programming, let us as human beings, with rationality, with critical thinking, with valuation, let us now go back. Let us now go back into that artificiality, into programming that produced us, and now reprogram the system again with freedom, rationality, and responsibility. So until we do that, there cannot be unity. The center cannot be there. So we must find that center, not with programmed and induced and bequeathed destiny. I've said that destiny is not something that you can wait for. You have to rise and seize your destiny. That's why I said, enter anywhere there is oppression. So we have the choice to rise up and say who we are. It's not something that the British will say for us. No. People, Hausa people, Yoruba people, and other minorities, we have to come together to decide on what we will call Nigeria. That's why I still insist on this restructuring. It's very important we go back to that.
Okay.
Restructuring. It's very important we go back to that.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Father. Okay. We must find that center, not with programmed and induced destiny. We have the choice to rise up and say who we are as a nation. We have to unite. Thank you, Father Bonachristus Umeogu, with us today. Thank you, and again, somewhere also. Want you to
we need to we do not lose hope. God is interested in what is happening in Nigeria. And I thank God, in that God, there is what we call undivided unity. Undivided unity. Individual unitas. We do not be afraid of diversity. We do not be afraid of that. There can never be unity without diversity. Without unity, because the principle of unity is diversity. That's the problem. And the principle of diversity is unity. Think about what we call unity in diversity. That you have trees, for instance. You have an orange tree, you have an iroko tree, you have a mango tree. You see, the treeness is the unity. It's a principle.
Father is going into metaphysics.
Yeah.
I hope our viewers will.
It's the principle. So the principle of diversity is unity. And the time has come for us now to take that unity down to the foundations. No longer of the time people program and they gave to us. But for us now to take up our cultural identity with freedom, with our own choice. If that choice did not come out under slavery, under mental slavery, under colonialism, not only the Igbo or in Nigeria, but in Africa. So the time has come for us to rise, and as a people decide to fulfill our destiny. I want again to make this point very important, that anytime one belabors and blames the past, that person can never see the future. That person can never see the future. Like every leader in Nigeria will always be going back to the past, blaming the people of the past, the leaders of the past. So doing something forward, why do you curse the darkness instead of lighting a candle? That's the problem we have with them here. No vision, no service. Grabbing. If they are grabbing with a rational, but they are grabbing in a way that is annoying. So I will other things to say, but here is that people should not be unhappy. God is interested in what is happening. Let us engender critical thinking. Because anywhere there is critical thinking, values are created. Values are created. You see, we need leaders that are visionary, who are servants. Who are servants. And we need to find a way of selecting these leaders that can help us. I think this partisan political something is already it's a disaster. Let there be what we call servant leadership. Let there be professionals in politics. You see, because when you have political professionals instead of professionals in politics, Plato said it. They have no end to the trouble of the state unless philosophers become kings, or those who will call kings now become by some miracle through philosophers. So I want to make this distinction between professional politicians and professionals in politics.
I think that will better serve as another discussion for some.
Definitely. Because you find out that anytime politicians have made politics a business in Nigeria, that's why they have politicized culture or cultural identity, so as to divide the people and grab everything. So politics is not a business. I don't know who told them that kind of thing. You see, the time has come for every political leader in Nigeria to find a job, find a career, find a profession. Don't just sit there and grab everything we have. What kind of rubbish is that? Go and find, even Paul at the point said, I cannot be a problem to the people. Go and create your own business, empires. I thank God for it, like this Trump. Trump was successful. Yes. Before he entered into this
successful business.
So he cannot be grabbing everything he sees. So I call Nigerian and African leaders to go about to find their jobs.
No, they should also be professionals in their professions.
Like yes. They should know that politics is not something you just come into.
Not negative.
With ignorance.
Yeah.
With ignorance. So I think we're saying two things. First of all, go and find your go and find their works. Go and find their business. So be earning something. So that when you go out from politics, you will still be earning something. So, and it will stop all this problem of grabbing.
In the name of unity.
When there is in the name of unity, of course, that's why I said they have politicized the unity so as to help them to grab.
Yes,
Because if you don't divide the people, you cannot grab what they have.
yes.
If you do not do divide and rule, you cannot grab the heritage of the people. So I think it's good I made that distinction. Let us know that anything you are going into, you should be informed about that thing scientifically. You should also be independent financially to help you to do other things. Now, my prayer, I will ask the Almighty God, who is the Lord and Maker of everything, the God of Nigeria, the God